guys, it's Dustin with Aquaventure Boat Club here on beautiful Lake Norman, North Carolina, just doing another little instructional video. Today we're going to be covering basic operation and characteristics of the Yamaha WaveRunners, okay? We're running this year, the 2020 year, we're running the Yamaha EX Deluxe WaveRunners. There's going to be a couple of differences in these WaveRunners versus the VX 1100 series that we had run for years, and I'd like to cover a few of those with you right now. If you're like me, sometimes you forget a thing or two, and your life jacket is not one thing that you want to forget. So anytime we're going to be talking about riding on PWCs, a Type 3 PFD is definitely the law, okay? I'm going to go ahead and throw that on real quick. Make sure that it's buckled up well. All right. I'm going to go ahead and start with the location of the fire extinguisher. This is considered a power boat, and it does have to have a fire extinguisher on board. Now, I'm going to tell you what I've always told people for the last 12 years. If you're out on a WaveRunner and it happens to catch on fire, I don't recommend trying to be a hero and putting it out, okay? Just dive off the thing, make sure that you're safe and whoever else is with you is safe, but it is required legally to have one. I'm not crazy about the location of the fire extinguisher compartment on these. It's actually going to be located underneath the seat, and I'll show that to you here real quick. To access this, you can imagine if it were on fire, is not going to be super easy. But we unlatch there, and then right underneath the seat is going to be the fire extinguisher. So if you're out riding on one of these PWCs one day and you get stopped by wildlife or another law enforcement agency and they ask to see your fire extinguisher, you'll know where that's located at, okay? All right, now we're going to go ahead and move on to the location of the emergency whistle and your registration. That's going to be located right here in what's really, kind of sadly, our only good storage area on the EX Deluxe, okay? This is a really deep well in here, and you can certainly fit several bottles of water and everything like that. But if you're familiar with the VX series WaveRunners we used to have, those had a really big storage compartment up front. The EX does not really have any storage to speak of. There's really not enough room to put anything in there. I think it's almost ornamental. So don't plan on bringing a big, ice chest or anything like that along. But inside of this storage compartment, we'll have one of our dry bags, and inside this is going to be your emergency whistle, which is required to be on board, as well as your registration. You may be asking, if I'm not crazy about the storage on the EX series WaveRunners and I'm not super crazy about the location of the fire extinguisher, what benefit do these WaveRunners have over the VX series that we used to have? Truly, they're a much more fun ski to ride. They're a lot more nimble than the other ones, and it also is equipped with the IRide system. To start this WaveRunner up, we're always going to want to make sure that we put our safety lanyard on. It's designed so that if we fall off the WaveRunner, it's going to pull out and it will kill the motor so that it doesn't drive away without us. To start the WaveRunner up, we've got a green start button right here. And then to turn the engine off, right down here, there's going to be a red stop switch. When we start this WaveRunner, it is going to be in forward gear, and you'll see that it will want to start moving forward slowly. We're tied up at the dock right now, so it won't go too far, but I'll show you what's really neat about this. I'm going to go ahead and push my green start button to get going. And we are in forward gear. But if I wanted to just sit here and I wanted to remain, not driving along, what I can do is I can squeeze the left throttle trigger over here one time, and that's going to put me in neutral. Once I want to go forward again, all I need to do is squeeze my right throttle trigger, and that's going to put me back in forward gear, just like that. Now, with my throttle on the right hand, the more that I squeeze, the faster that I'll go. And then when I want to slow down, I can just let go of the gas. If I want to slow down faster, I can use this left trigger just like a brake, and I can squeeze it, and it's going to slow me down very quickly. And when I let go of it, it will go into neutral. If I wanted to back up, all I would need to do is use that left trigger again. I hold it backwards, and I'm going to go backward. So it takes maybe 2 minutes out on the water to get used to this system. It seems a little confusing at first, but it's very, very, very simple. And to turn the motor off, all I need to do is push the red stop button right here. Now, if you're coming into dock, or you're going and you're wanting to talk to your friend that's on the other jet ski, the way that you stop that PWC is not by turning the engine off. These are jet thrust propelled, and the only way that you have any ability to stop or turn or move out of the way is by the jet thrust that's coming from the engine. If you decide that you just turn it off, the jet ski is just going to go whatever direction it was going last, okay? And you won't have any control over what it does at that point. So remember not to use that stop button as a way that you think that you're going to dock. All right, let's talk just a little bit about safety while we're on the jet ski. One thing is to remember, when you're driving a PWC, the way that these operate is basically you've got about 100 horsepower vacuum cleaner. Underneath the jet ski is going to be an intake grate that sucks water up and shoots it out the backside of the jet ski. A lot of people mistakenly think that there's no danger with a jet ski because there's no propeller that's exposed. Truthfully, they can be very, very, very dangerous. The amount of water that comes out the back jet thrust port over here can take an eye out. It can hurt a lot of different body parts if God didn't intend that much water to be shot towards those body parts, okay? We only allow 2 people to be out on these WaveRunners, 2 people at a time, okay? It's actually a 3-seat capacity. We totally understand that, but these jet skis were made to be much more narrow and much more lightweight than the VX series that we used to run. That makes them a lot more exciting to drive. They're great. You'll love the way they handle, but because of that, it just can't hold as much weight as the VX series did. Now, the rated capacity for this WaveRunner is going to be 485 pounds. I can tell you from our experience out here, 485 pounds, if you've got 485 pounds on it, it's going to be a little bit much, and it's definitely going to be tipsy-turvy. Anytime you get over around 400 to 425 pounds, you're going to be a little bit more likely to turn it over at slow speeds. If you're out on the WaveRunner, and you do happen to turn it over, okay? It's okay, that's not the end of the world. It's not something that we're trying to do. We certainly don't want to, but it's not the end of the world. Let me show you what's going to happen. If you're riding along and you fall off of it, what's going to happen is it's just going to kill the motor. We'll fall into the water, and there's a boarding ladder that we'll show you here in just a moment to be able to get back on. What you don't want to do is if you're out on the WaveRunner and you start to feel like maybe it's going to turn over, and this would usually happen at slow speed, in a sharp turn at slow speed with heavy weight on it, and it starts to feel like it's going to turn over, please don't hold on to it and try to keep yourself from going in. It's not going to be the end of the world if you fall in the water. Just go ahead and let yourself fall into the water. That way you don't have to worry about the WaveRunner sitting upside down in the water. If you do happen to flip the WaveRunner over upside down, there is a procedure that you'll want to follow in order to right that. First of all, obviously make sure that both occupants or whoever's on the WaveRunner are safe, and they should be. We've never had anybody get hurt just falling off of a WaveRunner before. But make sure that everybody's safe, and then immediately kill the motor. The easiest way to do that, if it didn't die already, is just to pull that safety lantern, and it's going to shut the motor off, okay? You don't want to have the engine running while the WaveRunner's upside down. It can cause a lot of serious engine damage. From there, the WaveRunner will be sitting upside down. All you'll do is just hold on to it and go around to the back side, and there's going to be a little decal that's exposed, that's sticking up out of the water then, that tells you how to turn it back over. You'll just do just like the picture shows, just grab it and flip it back over. It will right itself pretty easily. They are engineered to sit this way, okay? So it's going to want to flip back over like this. Let's check out that boarding ladder in the back real quick. So if you do happen to want to go swimming or you fall off the WaveRunner, there is a boarding step that's going to be located right here. All you do is just fold this down, put one foot on there, you'll hold onto the handle here, and you'll board the WaveRunner from the back side. You never want to try to climb up from the side because it is going to turn over. You'll definitely want to board from the back. A lot of people ask us too, what's the minimum age? I've actually had people ask me, hey, can my 6-year-old drive these? They can be dangerous, guys. No minimum age for operation on these, if you're not one of the named members, is going to be 18 years old. Okay, so if you've got an adult child that wants to drive, that's fine as long as they're out with a member. 18 years old with a valid driver's license, and North Carolina requires that anybody under the age of 29 right now also have a boater safety education card. So 18 years old, driver's license, boater safety education card, we'll be able to sign a waiver for them so that they can get out and enjoy them as well, okay? All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get underway here. Make sure that you have your safety lanyard on and it's tightened. We'll hit that green start button in order to start the WaveRunner up. And it's gonna be in neutral. All we have to do is squeeze the right side one time. That'll put us into forward gear. And we're gonna take it out of the slip nice and slow. Now, a lot of people feel that this is the time to go ahead and squeeze that throttle and
do some sort of X game maneuver, but this is not the time. Remember that your no-wake zones are going to be just the same on a WaveRunner as they are on any other boat. 150 feet from anything that touches land is going to be a no-wake zone. That's all of your docks, your bridges, and your shorelines. You need to make sure that if you're within 150 feet in any direction of any of these things, that you're keeping the WaveRunner at idle speed.
Right, go ahead, give me a little bit of reverse. Reverse, and you can go ahead and kill it there. Okay, the red stop button here? Yes, sir. Okay, perfect.
How was it? Did you have a blast with that?
It's a great time. It's a lot of fun.
You enjoyed it.
We like these WaveRunners.
You do?
Yes,
Fantastic.
we do. Alright guys, so I hope that you've enjoyed this little instructional video and kind of a introduction to the EX Deluxe WaveRunners. These things are a blast, they're a lot of fun, but the thing to keep in mind when you're out on these is please be safe. I've seen these things turn the tiniest little grandmas into speed demons, and for some reason people have the misconception that they're not going to get hurt while they're on the water, and believe me, after 12 years of doing this out here on Lake Norman, every single year we see something happen that you just say, why did that happen? A couple things to keep in mind is remember that no wake speed anytime you're within 150 feet of any dock, bridge, or shoreline. You're going to want to keep that at an idle speed. Also, maintain at least 150 foot separation from your other WaveRunner if they're out there with you, and certainly from other boats. And if you do decide to reserve the WaveRunners and you come out, remember just the key things, you can have 4 people total on the reservation because you do get both of the WaveRunners for any time you make a reservation. If you do have any questions about operation before getting on the water, make sure you ask your dock hand. That's what they're here for, and they'll be able to answer any questions that you have. All right, thank you so much for watching the video. God bless you. We look forward to seeing you out here soon.